What's up, everyone? So excited to be here. Thank you for joining us for our first genuine YouTube video, which is not just a highlight reel. Out of Sight Sports has primarily shared our content on Twitter, but we are now trying to expand to deliver top-notch sports-related content on our YouTube channel, both now and in the future. You definitely won't want to miss out on what we have planned. With that being said, let's dive into the history of CP3 and Rondo's beef from Boston to LA. In the NBA, few rivalries are more intense than the one between CP3 and Rondo. The two have been at each other's throats for well over a decade, with the feud spanning through multiple teams and multiple cities. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the beginning of the beef, tracing its roots back to their times in Boston and New Orleans, and following it through their clashes on the court. From heated exchanges to physical altercations, we'll explore the moments that have defined this heated rivalry and examine how it has shaped the careers of two of the game's most talented players. So sit back, relax, and get ready to relive the drama and excitement of the CP3 and Rondo feud. The Lakers and the Rockets were involved in a minor brawl in October 2018. Initially, it appeared as if the situation was going to calm down, but it quickly escalated when Chris Paul and Rajon Rondo became involved. This altercation had been brewing for some time. Chris Paul and Rajon Rondo are prime examples of how the team that drafts you can impact your NBA career and your trajectory of where it goes. In 2005, Chris Paul, a product of Wake Forest, was drafted fourth to the struggling New Orleans Hornets. In the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, the Hornets played their home games in Oklahoma City that same year. Despite the improvement of the Rookie of the Year point guard and the team as a whole, they were unable to reach the playoffs. The Hornets signed Peja Stojakovic and traded for Tyson Chandler in 2006 to boost their team, but injuries prevented them from making the playoffs. The Hornets had a breakthrough season in 2007 and 2008, returning to New Orleans where Chris Paul and David West became first-time All-Stars. Byron Scott won Coach of the Year, and the team won a franchise-best 56 games, made the playoffs, and beat the Mavericks in the first round. Despite starting strong and leading 2-0, the Hornets eventually lost to the next round to the reigning champions, the Spurs. Spurs advanced to the conference finals, but were taken down by the Lakers, who eventually went on to lose to the Celtics in the finals, who were led by Rajon Rondo. Rondo was a young emerging star like Paul, but he wasn't as well known when he joined the NBA. He was selected by the subpar Celtics with the 21st overall pick in the 2006 draft out of Kentucky. In Rondo's first season with the Celtics, he worked his way into the starting lineup while Paul Pierce was sidelined with injury. Boston won only 24 games that season, while the Hornets, led by Chris Paul, made some solid acquisitions. However, the Celtics underwent a historic overhaul of the upcoming offseason. The Boston Celtics completed the NBA's biggest turnaround by trading for Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett after giving up their lottery pick. Within a year, they went from winning only 24 games to a remarkable 66 victories. They emerged as champions in the 2008 NBA Finals, and Kevin Garnett's famous quote, "Anything is possible," echoed their victory. Rondo went from a promising rookie on a losing team to the primary point guard on a title contender. A remarkable story. Which brings us to the summer of 2008, significant times as recent reports suggest that this is when the beef began. Following the 2018 Rockets-Lakers fight, some reporters noted that Paul led the United States to a gold medal at the 2008 Olympics. Although Rondo was said to have not made it through the auditions, there were reports at the time that he had been invited to play for the Select Squad, which competes against Team USA before competitions and is comprised of younger players. Rondo and Celtics rookie Kendrick Perkins, yes, Kendrick Perkins, refused the offer for the first time during the 2009-2010 season. But his Celtics were not the same after winning the title. Although they went on to win the East once more, they were defeated in 7 games by the Mamba and company in the 2010 Finals, one of the best series in league history. Boston sought another championship before the window of their aging Big Three closed. Yet with LeBron James leading an even stronger Big Three in Miami, it was evident that their current lineup was inadequate to help the Celtics reach the mountaintop like they were able to do so in 2008. In addition, there was considerable internal conflict. Rondo and Ray Allen did not get along, and Rondo occasionally rebelled at the expectations of Celtics head coach Doc Rivers. In November 2011, when the NBA lockdown was set to break, Celtics general manager Danny Ainge discussed dealing Rondo for Chris Paul over the phone. Many trade proposals were explored at the table, and the rumor mill reached its peak after Woj tweeted about the situation. Others, such as Shaq, who briefly played for the Celtics before retiring, argued that Rondo was a superior point guard, since his club had achieved greater success. The deal ultimately fell through, though. According to Ray Allen's 2018 autobiography, Coach Rivers vetoed the deal because he couldn't do that to his old buddy, Hornets coach Monty Williams. At the time, it was believed Paul was unable to commit to Boston long term. I believe the suggestion is that Rondo's personality may be difficult for a coach to control, which appears to be the truth. Although Ray Allen may be somewhat biased source in this instance given the history I discussed. After all the chaos ensued, Paul was dealt to the Clippers. The two individuals shared a polite and friendly handshake, and the conflict had been temporarily resolved, for now. Rondo's stint as an all-star caliber player was shortened by injuries, similar to the Celtics' time as champions. The departure of Doc Rivers to Boston to go coach Chris Paul and the Clippers the summer of 2013 was a notable aspect of the Celtics' fall at the time. Rivers, who was a point guard during his playing days, was just as rough on Paul as he had been on the youthful Rondo, which drew comparisons yet again. Rivers was also the Clippers' senior vice president of basketball operations for a while and recruited other former Celtics to bolster his core of Paul, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan, which would prove significant later. By trading Rajon Rondo to the Dallas Mavericks in December of 2014, Boston completed the dismantling of the 2018 championship squad for good. It began a stage in Rondo's career in which he battled coaches while bouncing from team to team. In 2017, only days after Paul was dealt to the Rockets, Rondo joined Paul's former team in New Orleans, the Pelicans. This endeavor helped bring the beef back into reality. Rondo teamed up with his close buddy, DeMarcus Cousins, who has a noted personal grudge towards CP3 as well. The second amusing fact is that Rondo set a new franchise mark for assists in his time with the Pelicans, passing Paul. Third, they added more cow meat into the beef during a game in which Rondo didn't even play in, exchanging in some extracurricular trash talk. On March 17, 2018, as Rondo was sitting on the bench during the Rockets' visit to New Orleans, he got into a heated dispute with Paul that resulted in an attack. There was a clue then. Although the conflict persisted, as of October 20th, 2020, no further warnings were required at all. Rondo and Paul had been engaged in a complete duel, and as things heated up, they seemed to gravitate towards one another, getting more angry. Rondo then looked to spit on Chris Paul as they began to quarrel. Paul then poked Rondo in the face, and after a brief exchange of blows, they were both suspended. To ascertain whether Rondo spit and whether it was intentional, a lot of time was spent investigating the video. Rondo appeared to have spat in his face, and other news, a purported altercation between Rondo, family member, and Jada Paul, Chris Paul's wife, was being investigated. Yet, for our purposes, the most fascinating consequence came from something Rondo said following the brawl. Rondo said, "Everyone wants to believe Chris Paul is a good guy. They don't know he's a horrible teammate. They don't know how he treats people." To be clear, before we get started, Rondo has a reputation for being aggressive and at times nasty. But I'm not sure where he gets his impression that Paul is seen as some angel. Paul's feud with Doc Rivers was highly publicized, and he's had his fair share of beefs and unpleasant incidents in the past. In any case, Rondo's remark regarding Paul prompted rapid analysis from individuals who knew both players, which is a lot of people considering Doc was the Clippers' general manager at the time. Jeff Green and Paul Pierce both stated the battle had been coming and had been brewing for a long time. I think most avid NBA fans had a sense of the showdown that was coming, and that it was only a matter of when. To be frank, I'm pretty surprised the scuffle took so long to actually occur. Big Baby Davis, who played with both, said Rondo was right and called Paul a terrible teammate. Ryan Holland stated that Paul, his former Clippers teammate, needed to mature and went on to remark that Rondo was one of his favorite teammates ever, which is a bit ironic given they only played 15 games together in Boston. Is it true that Rondo sought Paul's spot as the top point guard in the NBA? I'm not really sure, but it adds up. Rondo was outstanding in his prime, but never quite matched Paul's level, according to everybody except Shaq. Yet it only took Rondo 2 years to grab the ring Paul has been chasing and is still chasing 2 decades later. Individual honors for one and team glory for the other might spark enough mutual jealousy to spark a feud. Of course, fuel necessitates ignition. The Paul and Rondo beef is a more mysterious beef in the world of sports, but everyone knows it is aged, authentic, alive, and well. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to our channel, as all support is greatly appreciated. Check us out on other platforms in the links below for the most out-of-sight highlights, plays, stories, memes, updates, and more in the sports world. Thank you for your time and have a great rest of your day as always.